Hey, hi, good evening. Artemi, Nelia, Zlata, Vita, Yulia, Irina, Wojciech, Teresa, hello. A lot of people today. 174, Slavic, Peter, Aneta, Ola, Elena, Albina, Yulia, Claudia, there's a lot, Lucia, Angelina, Anna, yes, Lisa, and we have a lot actually. So good evening. Maybe some of you are expecting Thomas. Sure, Thomas. I hope that I pronounce it correctly today, but he cannot make it. So I'm actually here to actually uh, talk about Australian slang. Yeah. Um, Tashana, Ina. Oh, okay, very nice. Oksana. We've got like a lot of people today in the webinar. Good evening. Hey, hi everyone. All right, Alex, Katarina, and there are names that I can't even read. Apologies, forgive me. Okay. So, for those who doesn't know me yet, my name is Marian. I'm from the Philippines and I'm a webinar host. You can also see me on the platform in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, but usually in the evening. Yeah, in the evening. So, uh, yeah, I've been here for quite some time now, like around 5 years already. And I hope that you will like my presentation today about Australian slang. Yes, Diana, nice to meet you too. Good evening, Victoria. Yes. Okay. And I can see that we have a lot of Ukrainians here today. Really nice. So, of course, let me tell you, okay? When you learn English in your home country, you are taught how to speak and write proper English, right? The reality is, when you move to an English speaking country, you start hearing some terms that you didn't know about before. It is called slang. Yeah, every country and language have their own slang, and yes, it is very useful to know a few words at least. So maybe we are already familiar with some American slang, some British slang, but Australian, let's find out today. Yes, although Australia is an English speaking country, learning the most common slang words may help you. Yeah, get through on a daily basis and avoid getting into an awkward situation. Slang is a type of language consisting of words and phrases that are regarded as very informal, mostly in speaking, rather than writing. Yes. Hi, Julia. Okay, so today let's talk about Australia, right? So, slang, or let me say Australian slang, is almost a language of its own. We call people Aussies. I'm gonna write that over here. Aussie. Aussies. We call people Aussies. Okay, they have are, as they're also called, have a tendency to shorten most words to explain things. Whether you are dreaming of, let's say, visiting Sydney, let's say, and have just arrived, or planning to study English in Australia, these today, a few Australian slang words are going to help you. Yes. So as you can see, the flag of Australia, as you can see, is based on the British blue ensign. A blue field with the Union Jack. You know the Union Jack, yeah? The cross, the red cross over there. Yes. The upper hoist quarter, okay, augmented with a large white seven-pointed star. So as you can see, the stars that they have there is has 7 points, not five. Yeah, it is the Commonwealth star, as they say, and a representation of the Southern Cross constellation made up with five stars. Yes, five white stars. Okay, so let's just talk a bit about Australia. A little bit of trivia that I would like to share with you. As you can see over here, Australia, it is an island, yeah, in southern hemisphere and belongs to Oceania or Australia. Australia is surrounded by the Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean. Just like my country, Philippines, it's also an island. Yeah, and we are surrounded by many bodies of water. Yes, and Australia is just actually down below my country. Okay, another trivia I would like to share with you about Australia is it is also the driest inhabited continent of the world. Like about 35% of Australia's land area are deserts. Yeah, they are deserts. Okay. So the driest, as you can see over here, inhabited continent. Australia is a country, an island, and a continent. Next, Australia, as you can see here, their national symbols are kangaroo and emu. Are you familiar with emu? Yeah, it's a big black bird similar to as big as a turkey, something like that, or ostrich. Yes, but they are black. Yes, they're in Australia. There are a lot of kangaroos and Commonwealth Star is the one that we talked about earlier with their flag. Yes, a seven-pointed star, and actually the color green and gold are symbols of Australia. Mm-hmm. Okay, next. Maybe later on we will learn why green and gold is a symbol of Australia. Yes. Next, Sydney. Okay, let me tell you, we all know Sydney, Australia. Yes, right? Sydney is Australia's biggest city with more than 5 million people, but it is not the capital. It is not the capital. Yeah. The capital is Canberra. Don't forget about that. We all know, oh, Sydney, Australia. But it's not the capital. Remember, Canberra. Mhm. Next, road signs. Road signs in Australia, they are, of course, not just in Australia. I believe it's everywhere. There are road signs to warn the drivers about what they should expect on the road. Yes. But in Australia, the road signs are about wild animals that might cross the roads, like kangaroos or emus. Mm-hmm. Yes, those are the road signs more often in their country. Mhm. Next, Australia Day is the National Day of Australia, celebrating the arrival of the first ships to Australia in 1788. It is celebrated on the 26th of January. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the last one for our trivia, no, second to the last for our trivia, mm-hmm, is here. Many animals that live in Australia, such as kangaroo or koala, can't be found anywhere else on Earth. Australia mostly there aren't kangaroos in other countries. isn't it? Or koala, or maybe some specific species. They can only be found in Australia. It has 516 national parks to protect its plants and animals. Yes, Anita, you mean you can't hear me? Yes, Claudia. What about the huge spider, for example? Yes, Artemi, what about it? Mm-hmm. Let me know. How about the others? It's all good? Can you hear and see me? We're okay with, can you follow the Australia trivia we're talking about? Because I'm going to our last trivia for today. Yes? And that would be Australia is the largest country in the southern hemisphere. Thank you, Nadia. Yes, and the largest country without land borders. Yes, Albina, thank you, Yulia. Wojciech, thanks. So everything is okay. All right. Yes, Olga. Again, let's read it one more time. Australia is the largest country in the southern hemisphere and the largest country without land borders, as you can see. Yes, right. Yes, they don't have land borders. So it is actually nice to go to Australia, to visit Australia, isn't it? Okay, so let's move on over here. Now I'm going to share with you for the most part. Okay, for the most part, this shortening of words is pretty straightforward and easy to understand or easy to translate, I can say. If you, for example, if you want to join in, just remove the last few letters of a word and replace with a vowel sound like the I or U. Like, for example, the most common Australian slangs, they are just replacing the last few words with a vowel. As you can see here, see ya this arbo, see you this afternoon. Being dacked when someone pulls your pants down, and give a wedgie when someone pulls your pants up your bum. Sometimes you will hear they're going to say avo. It is short for avocado. Sometimes they're gonna say roo, short for kangaroo. They're gonna say mosey for mosquito. Yes. So they are actually doing that for the most part, shortening the words because it is their way of slang, Diana. Yeah. It is their way of slang, Australian slang. They are only with other people's pants. I don't know. It's a kind of trip, I guess. Yeah, it is more likely for men, and I am glad that I am a woman. It never happened to me. I don't know why people do that. It's a kind of trip. Okay, let me share with you another common slang, which is, let's say, for instance, as you can see here, dunny. When we say dunny, when you hear or when you're watching Australian film, for example, and you hear the word dunny, it means toilet or bathroom. Do you know where the dunny is, mate? Yeah. Ear bashing. So when someone say ear bashing when you're reading an Australian book or having a conversation with Australian personality or watching a film, it means constant talking. She gave me an ear bashing for coming home at 2 a.m. Fair dinkum. It means genuine. It means real. Anna's a fair dinkum Aussie. Remember, when we say Aussie, they're talking about Australian people. Mhm. Also, maybe from time to time you encounter this word, hips, a lot. It means lots. Thanks, hips, for your help. It means thanks a lot for your help. Thanks so much for your help. Yes. And huru. Huru, mate. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. It means goodbye. Thong, tong is actually a flip-flops. Yes, maybe in other language, a tong is something like you can use when you're cooking something, but it means here it's a flip-flops. Something that you wear on your foot. Yes, I need a new pair of tongs. These are about to break. Flip-flops, maybe some of you are not familiar. It is it is actually the one that you can use on your foot when you go out. Thong, flip-flops. Also, we have other common Australian slangs like bloke. It means when you hear someone say bloke, they are referring to an Australian male. But when they say Sheila, it is an Australian female. Yeah. Not really like they are saying that person is Sheila, but then the word Sheila or the name Sheila is referring to general Australian female. Okay. And then we've got Barbie, but that's not Barbie doll, but a barbecue. Okay. Yes. All right. Next, I still have here few common Australian slang, which is here. When you hear I reckon, it means I believe so for them. And hey, McDonald's. As you can see here for McDonald's, they say Macas. Macas. Yes. All right. That is kind of like a little bit funny when I am doing this presentation. You know, Australians are generally very easygoing, and this is often reflected in how they speak. They have a reputation for shortening 90% of the words they use, to create what is known as Australian slang. So, where else in the world, McDonald's, it is the world renowned fast food chain, they are called Macas. Macas. Right? And then, of course, we've got the Bataleo for bottle shop, or let me say liquor store, or they're also saying servo for service station. Yeah. I don't want a Barbie for a BBQ, by the way. Yeah, Yulia. Yeah, you see, maybe for us it's a bit totally different. It's totally different for their slang because we are used to some British slang and American slang. Yeah, with Australian slang, not so much. Okay, let's move on. I have here some other Australian slangs. Just if ever that you're watching some films and you encounter this word, for you not to get confused. They also say crook. So crook is for sick. I'm feeling a bit crook, mate. Where in American English, when you're like a crook, you're kind of like weird or crazy. Yeah, that crook. Okay, true blue. It means something that is really Australian. True blue. Yeah. And we've got hit the sack, meaning go to bed, okay, to sleep. Maybe when they are talking about their when they are letting their children, okay, to go to sleep, hit the sack. Macas. Yes, Julia, it's true. Where in the world you would hear Macas? Okay, last slide for today. For our common Australian slang, you must have kangaroos loose in the top paddock. As you can see, if you notice, this is quite long for their slang, but it means you are crazy. You must have kangaroos loose in the top paddock. Yes. I'd like to visit Macas. Me too, Alex. Yeah. Pull your head in. Stop being a smart arse. That's a ripoff. That's too expensive. Okay. When you hear that's a ripoff, That's too expensive. And then it's a reaper. It means it's really great. Yeah. Makas is a reaper. It's really great. To do your block, meaning to lose your temper. So as you see, that's a wrap. Whether you live in Australia or not, or planning to visit Australia in the near future, or you just want to improve your English vocabulary or your American English vocabulary or whatever with your fair dinkum Aussie words before the next Australia Day, we hope, of course, that some of these Australian words in our Aussie slang webinar have helped you understand Australian slang a little bit better. And if not, I hope that they just brought a smile to your face. Makas. All right. And let me tell you one more thing before I finish the webinar today. In Australia, when they say no drama, oh, no drama, no worries. It means it's like saying, don't worry about it, no problem, you're welcome, all at the same time. Yeah? No dramas, no worries. Okay? As you can see, it's English, but it has a different meaning for Australian slang. Don't worry about it, no problem, you're welcome, all at the same time. So that is about my uh, Australian slang webinar for today. I hope that you like it. I hope that you find the webinar useful as well. Tomorrow, there's still another webinar that we have. It's it's on the platform. Next week, we there's still webinars for next week. Just check out the platform for the schedule and the topics. But then thank you so much for today, and I hope that you're enjoying your night. You know, you have a very nice temperature, and of course at the same time that you will still participate in a similar event in the future. Once again, my name is Marian. I'll see you next week, and we're going to talk about. Next week, it will be Friday for us. We're going to talk about the best songs to learn English from. And I'm going to play some songs for you and explain why they are actually good to learn English from. So thank you so much, everyone. And I hope, yep, I hope that you will enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you soon. Goodbye for now.